news of the day, your teammate of the year. Why is he deserving?
I don't know how long we got to talk about it. No, he's one of a kind. Obviously, the things that he does on the court, everybody gets to see, but who he is as a person off the court, the things he does for the community, the things he does for his teammates, the things he does for the staff, the organization, the way he treats people. The list, like I said, can go on, but Jrue Holiday's that guy, and it's much deserving, and he had my vote from the beginning.
What does that say that it's votes from other teams as well? I know it's the second time he's won it, but that's obviously a reputation thing, the way he probably treats guys from other teams. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I think he just has the respect of his peers. I mean, when you talk about awards to be won, I think the ones that speak highest are the ones that are from your peers, because we all have that competitive edge, right? So you're all trying to win different things. You're all trying to win as a team. But when guys on other teams, when obviously there's 15 of us, there's 450 guys in the NBA, when the 435 other guys are voting for you and you're getting an award, especially for what he did as teammate of the year from people that aren't even on his team, I think that speaks volumes.
Why have y'all been able to play as well as y'all have the last couple games without having Middleton in the lineup? It seems you've been kind of stepped up your game even more.
I think it's just what we've always done as far as next man up mentality when people get hurt. We have depth on this team, but also no one's trying to replace Chris. You can't replace him. The things that he does for us on the floor are irreplaceable, but how do we be better in our roles? How do we play together more as a team? How do we move the ball a little bit more? How do we do some things a little bit differently to play to our strengths and make sure that we're putting ourselves in the best position to win while he's still gone?
When he first came back, you joked about having the bionic hand. I'm just wondering, what's the update on that? Is it feeling more human now?
I'm going to pretend I don't know why you're asking that question. No, it's the ebbs and flows of an NBA season, right? I think the excitement, it's also a little bit of, mentality, right? Like, you miss a few shots, you want to make them so bad. You want to make them for not just yourself, but for your team. You want to help your team be in a position to win. Sometimes that can be a bad thing. Sometimes you can care, I don't want to say care too much, but you can put yourself in a position where you think about it a little bit. And I think one of the things that I've tried to do the last few games is just make sure I'm doing all the things that, I've always prided myself on doing that as far as winning plays. Still find a way to make an impact even if I'm not just shooting. I think this year, obviously, I took a step forward with my shooting, and I continue to get better at it year after year, hopefully day after day. But how can I make sure that I'm still doing those other things? I'm not just labeled as a shooter. Use my athleticism, play defense, rebound, make the extra pass, make the winning plays, have that impact because the shots will fall. I have confidence in my shot. My teammates have confidence in my shot. And as long as I'm making the right decision, as long as I'm taking the shots that are there and I'm shooting them with confidence, the numbers will come back sooner or later.
Does the hand feel physically fine?
Yeah, the hand feels good. I mean, there's ups and downs. There's good days, there's bad days. But, my dad always gave the line, if you're hurt, don't play. If you play, you're not hurt. So, my hand's good. My hand's been great. And I'm just happy to be back out there.
I'm curious for you guys, for the final month of the season, you listened to me tell you how bad your defense had been and where the numbers were, and you guys have been great defensively here in this series. What do you think allowed you guys to find that out?
I'm going to give you all the credit. Don't tell Coach Bud that, though. No, I think, for us, I think throughout the course of the season, we had different things that we were trying out. We also had different lineups. We had different people involved. I would say it was just a mixture of finding what works best for us. And obviously each series is going to be different, right? So we're predicated on what Chicago is doing. We're really honing in on it. Throughout the course of an NBA season, you're not able to do it. You're playing different teams every night. It's different personnel. And so I would say what we've done is had a great combination of know what the other team's trying to do, know what Chicago's strengths and weaknesses are, but also know what we do best. And I think when we're flying around, we're using our athleticism. We got a lot of guys that can guard. Obviously, you got West, Jrue, Giannis, Brook. You got guys who are known for their defense. But myself, Grayson, Javon Carter, obviously Chris, like when he's out there, we got a lot of guys that can defend and can defend well and can be great from a team defensive standpoint. So making sure that we have each other's backs, that we're playing as a five-man defense as opposed to a one-on-one defense.
So off of that, why do you think, and maybe a little bit of this in that answer, but that four-guard line, so after Brook and Bobby sub out and it's just Giannis really at the five, why has that maybe worked as well? Because Javon, I know he's been with the team, but I can't recall if you've had many minutes, right? With especially with you and Grayson also out there. Why does that maybe work?
Just because of the versatility. I mean, Javon brings a different, I would say, edge to the defensive side of the ball, picking up full court, being a pest, being up in guys. Grayson and I have more athleticism than I think people realize or tend to give us credit for. And so, and then obviously, Giannis and Jrue are great defensively and are two of the best in the league. And I think we just have a lot of guys that care about not just defense, but winning. And defense brings championships. Defense brings winning in the playoffs. And so I'd say 1 through 15, we get guys that care about the defense. And we know, I think even more so, that defense can spark our offense. When we're out in transition, when Giannis is getting downhill, when Jrue has the ball, when Javon has the ball, when Grayson has the ball, when anybody has the ball and they're driving or they're pushing the ball up the floor, it's tough to stop us. But you got to get stops in order to do that more often than not.
Finishing a stop is getting a rebound. You've had some of those two-handers looking like Notre Dame Pat out there. Just for you, how much pride do you take in it that, like, hey, I'm going to be the foreman with Giannis and I can help clean up the glass?
Yeah, I'd say it goes back to what I was saying a little bit earlier. How do I make sure that I go back to what I do best? And I think shooting is one of the things I do better, but I think some of the things I do best is being athletic, rebounding, defending, making plays for myself, but mostly for my teammates, find ways to impact winning. That's what I've always tried to do. And so for us, especially when it's a small lineup out there, I got to rebound. I got to make sure that I'm hitting guys that are bigger than me, boxing them out. Sometimes I'm going to get the rebound, sometimes I may not, but how do I make sure that I'm finding ways to get that board? And, I think I missed one in game 2 where I was trying to push Caruso out and it was a bad miss and I pushed him right to the ball. Sometimes you're going to have to box out, but sometimes I just got to use my athleticism, try to read the ball off the rim and go up and high point it and get the ball.
Every win in the series is difficult. Was there something maybe that makes that fourth win just kind of different than the others, where I was putting a finality on another team's season now?
Yeah, I mean, it's like an animal. You fight to the death, right? When you're closer to that, you're going to find new life. You're going to find adrenaline. You're going to find energy. You don't want to, it to be over. And so I would say getting that game clinching, that series clinching win is always the hardest. And that's where you have to have that mentality. And I think that for us is something where we understand Chicago's going to come out. They're going to give us our best shot, or their best shot, I'd say. And we have to take our game even to another level. I think we did great things in game 3 and 4. I think there were things that we can improve on from game 3 and 4. And I think, for us, we also have to take the mindset of, we're trying to play the best Bucks basketball that we can. We're obviously trying to beat Chicago right now, but we're trying to make sure that we're putting ourselves in a position to be playing our best basketball throughout these playoffs.
There's been times where there's been like guard-to-guard action, whether it's a screen or handoff, and you all are not switching. And I'm wondering, when you're the guard in that position, say Jrue Holiday stays with whoever he's guarding, what's it like for you to have to hedge up a little bit and then recover back or communicate? And really, and it talks so much about Brooks' communication. What's it like for you in those situations?
You got to be active. You got to use your athleticism. You got to be, like you said, communicating. But more so, you got to be able to read the game. You got to have that basketball IQ. I think sometimes people take it as a slight when you're not going to read on to another player. I look at it as, well, yeah, if Jrue Holiday's out there with me, I'd want Jrue Holiday on that guy too, right? Like, it's not something that's necessarily because I'm deficient or somebody's deficient at defense. It's more, how do you just play to your strengths? And I have the athleticism to do both. So I'd say in those situations, it's about making sure that I understand the game plan, and then I understand who I'm guarding, right? Play their strengths and weaknesses. Everybody in the NBA can shoot. Everybody in the NBA can make plays. But what do they do best? Do they shoot better? Do they make plays better? And so understanding who I'm going back to off of those screen and roll situations where I do have to get back to my man, so that I'm putting myself in a better position to have success if the ball does get swung to him when I'm not in position.
The Bulls announced today that Zach LaVine had entered the protocols. If he's unavailable tomorrow, just what kind of impact does that have from y'all's perspective trying to attack the Bulls?
He's a tremendous player, but I think for us, we want to have the same mentality regardless. We're trying to go out there. We're trying to play the best basketball that the Milwaukee Bucks can play. Obviously, we got to know our personnel. We got to know who's subbing in. If Zach's unable to, go, what their tendencies are, what their strengths and weaknesses are, how they're going to play as a team. My guess would be a little more ball movement, things of that nature. But, for us, we want to make sure that we're putting our best foot forth. We're playing our best basketball. So the mentality can't change whether Zach plays or doesn't.
I was speaking with Bobby last week, and he said, I guess since he got to Milwaukee, but I think specifically after you all won last year, that he feels at peace. How have you noticed the at peace of Bobby over the last season, I guess?
I would say it's a mixture of two things. One, you see his energy that he brings to each and every game. He's out there having fun. You know, he's getting the crowd involved. He's getting himself involved. He's talking a little bit. He's talking to us. He's yelling. He's screaming. You know, he's having fun. And I think when Bobby Portis is having fun, Bobby Portis is a hard player to stop. And we're at our best when he's at his best. And so I'd say the other thing is, whether he has a good or bad game, he's the same guy. And I think so many guys in this league, you know, when you're trying to make it, when you're trying to carve out a role, and then you're trying to carve out a bigger role, and you're trying to continue to grow up the ladder, raise up the ladder, sometimes you worry about the game you had past, or the shot you missed last, or something from the past, or something that's about to happen in the future. And I think what Bobby's done so well is he's been the same guy from an attitude standpoint, no matter how he's played. And that's helped him play better and more consistent. And that's something that I think we're all striving for, because I think young guys in the NBA, when they play bad, they let it affect them. And then if you let that affect you, it's a long season. It's a long playoff run. That can trickle over into the next day, the following day. And that's how you end up in a slump. That's how you end up putting yourselves in positions that, you know, you struggle to get yourself out of. And I think when Bobby says he's at peace, my guess would be, doesn't matter how he plays. He knows he's going to go out there. He knows the things that he can control. He knows that shots going to go in, shots aren't going to go in, but he's going to be the same guy each and every single day, and he's going to bring that energy each and every single day.